Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Reverse 1999 reaction. Today we have Baby Be Good as requested by Amine Echo in the comments of last video. Apparently this is a Halloween-esque styled song. I'm not sure to what extent. The thumbnail that's on screen right now definitely gives me that vibe, so I'm anticipating this to be pretty dark. I'm not sure if it's going to be more of like a party style song or not. They did tell me I should remember the Rockabye Baby lullaby, and I'm not entirely sure to what extent that's going to play a part in the song, but I can guess, just based on it being horror adjacent, that it's going to be a little bit spooky, which is always fun, so I guess I gotta listen to it. And without further ado, let's go! Starting exactly as I expected it to. Ooh. It's a really sharp tone on that guitar. Very cold, which fits. There's that like sound, that like static in there. That's a pretty cool addition to this too. The subtle things. Yep. Yep. Okay. I like how they're kind of like not just moving it between the ears and panning, but like almost adding a phaser, like a warble to it. That instability in the voice. It's a lot more atmospheric than I would have expected for a boss theme, but I'm sure there's another phase yet to come. And that might be where it like gets more intense. Or it just stays unsettling the whole time. So far, I'm really liking the bass line of the guitar in here. I think that's like the most creative thing. The rest of it, like with the Rockabye Baby and everything, it's a little stereotypical, but not bad. It's just kind of like a, are they going to do anything with that, or are they just gonna sit there with it? It's also possible I'm missing the context because I don't know the event that this takes place during. So maybe there's like an even deeper connection to that. Would not be shocked. The standard, like, scrapes from the violin and strings. But that, again, that, like, bass line of the guitar, it's a really nice support. And the fact that, like, the lullaby pauses there, in that gap. It's very well spaced out. Oh, phase 2. Okay, there's some intensity. Ah! Oh! Ooh, cello backing. Hello. Cello. I'm sorry. Nice. Having the Psycho homage in there. I'm sure that's what that is. It's getting a little bit more waltzy now. This is almost exactly, ooh, that was fun. Almost exactly what I was hoping for with an evolution. It adds that few extra layers of just the pressure on top of it. Ooh. I'm hearing like either laughing or crying, like children, babies laughing or crying. It makes sense with the lullaby. That's subtle too. That's really subtle in there. It almost sounds like buzzing, you know? It's just vague enough. And this like squeaking. Again, I'm not sure if that's like a Psycho homage. It could be like a stroller, you know, like the wheels squeaking. I'm not entirely positive what that would signify. It kind of depends on the context of the event, I think. Whichever one feels more appropriate. But I could totally expect the connection to a stroller with the lullaby thing again. And I'm loving the vocal samples in there. That's such a cool, very subtle detail. And like this heartbeat in the kick here, getting stronger as the song reaches the end there. Yeah. That's exactly what I was hoping it was going to do. Either what it did there, or just taking a complete left turn to something way more intense. But that was the perfect level of like spooky intense that I think they needed. All right, so I admit, when this first started, I did not think it was going to be as good as it ended up being, but it did a lot of cool things with that change up in the second half. I think at first it was definitely doing a good job at setting its groundwork, and that's exactly what a first phase should truly be. I think I just had my expectations a little bit higher for what it could have been, but then once I realized what it was doing, and then with the introduction of what the second half had for me, it definitely changed my expectations and kind of shifted them back into a mold I should have had to begin with. That first half was exclusively doing what it should have. Like I said, groundwork. It set everything up. It had that nice guitar bass to it. I really do like that specific guitar bit, just to continue moving the song along. It was kind of just acting as an evolution for other things to come, and it was almost a groundwork for the other factors later with the cello and everything in that second half. It definitely changed the mood of the song more so than even the key did. So this song, the Rockabye Baby lullaby, is usually in C major, just like basically everything ever. C major is a really easy key for everyone to latch onto, and it's so flexible in that like happy tone because it's a C major, and of course with major comes happy vibes. But then this shifted itself to a G sharp minor, which is weird because that is nowhere near a C in any way. It's not a subdominant chord, it's not a relative key, it's nothing. So just starting out with it in that key makes you go, oh, this is different, this is immediately wrong. It's so wrong that it's not just taking it to a C minor wrong. That would be a little bit weird and maybe make you go, that's not the key I remember this song being in. This is so far detached from that you just immediately go, oh, this isn't just wrong, it is astronomically incorrect. And you're still hearing it because you can play any song in any key. That's just how music works. But truly, what happens to the sound of a song when you shift it from like a major to a minor key, especially a sharp minor, ooh, that allows for so much more flexibility and difference in the overall structure of the melody. You have to change so much to be able to make that adjustment that you really don't have much else to think other than this isn't what it should be, and I'm scared now. And I think that the groundwork of, I believe, the cello part in that second half was going like, which is cool because it's very close to the same thing. It's the only thing that changes here is going from the note that you ended that last phrase on down to the D below that, and then back up to those first two notes. But it creates this like stepping effect because you're going down to start that next phrase, and there is some other stuff in there where I think it does that, where it kind of loops around, and all of these relationships in the keys that are played here are very tumultuous. None of them really fit together, except for obviously in the key, but like what they are is largely just notes that aren't majors and perfect fifths and like, oh, it's all harmony and good times. It is exactly the opposite of that. These notes aren't really going to ever work together, I think, except for these two, which I do believe is a major interval, but the whole thing aside, it's just, that's the one like bright little thing in the relationship of those notes playing that melody and just sitting there. And it really makes you listen to this song in a very uncomfortable position. The whole song is designed and reimagined to be as uncomfortable as possible, shifting the key to a completely different key, a completely different style of key as well. You're just not in a good place while listening to this. And then the evolution of the second half, introducing the vocals in there, and like that very subtle, again, very subtle. I love the inclusion of that and how far in the back it was, because that whole time you're listening going, is that children? Is that laughter? Is that crying? You can't really tell. And it never makes that more clear. There is one spot in there where it kind of gets a little bit louder, like a little bit more pronounced, but never enough to be fully 100% positive of what it is. You can't tell most of the time. For some people, laughing and crying can sound very much the same if you don't see the emotion attached to the face. So detaching that even further and just having it in a song and with nothing else visually supporting it, I can't tell. Obviously, with the context of it being a horror-based event, you would be like, okay, well, yeah, they're crying, but like, would it be though? Because if you're facing somebody who's insane, maybe they're laughing. Maybe that's a resonance of their personality, and you're just dealing with that. And the fact that they make that so ambiguous is so smart. I love that in the sound design. There are so many cool things in this as well. Again, the movement of the vocals in the first part as well, just keeping it kind of ambiguous to where that is in the head. It never settles down. It keeps moving. As it transitions, there's that like little flutter on the voice as well. So it's like, ooh, what is that? That sounds inhuman. And it's, oh, there's so many cool little things. I was really not sure if I was going to end up liking this, depending on where that second half went, but that second half went exactly where I wanted it to. Like I said, it could have also gotten a lot more intense, like very intense, more fast paced, like double timed it, but they didn't want to do that. They didn't need to do that. They took kind of like the haunted house approach, where it's like, oh, it's just creepy, but like more creepy. It's like added a few more cobwebs into the hallway, and I don't like it because now they're touching my skin, and I don't like that sensation. And I think that's really what gives this song its oomph in that second half, is the fact that it gets more tactile. The song itself adds a few more layers to make it feel more real. The first half felt kind of uncomfortable, and it was like, okay, I don't like this, but that second half, even though it was introducing more stuff that theoretically and presumably would add more detail, which is usually more answers, and therefore makes you a little bit more at ease, what they did was add the worst possible layers possible for the psychological effect of this song, adding in those laugh cry things, that cello that sounds a lot more dreadful than it was before, a lot of other strings in there as well, just building up that base of tension, and again, none of them really like syncing together quite right, and then ending it with that like slow increase of that like heart rate kick sample in there as well. It's just, oh, such a good choice there, having that heart pounding effect right at the end before the outro. Just overall, really well done. I thought that it was well structured. I thought the key was a cool choice, like immediately, but I really didn't know what the whole song's story would pull out of me. I didn't know if I was going to be impressed or unfortunately disappointed, but I'm glad I ended up being impressed. I usually am with Reverse 1999. They tend to be very good at getting the vibes down. I've talked about that countless times at this point, but they really nailed it for this one. I don't know if there was any more more from this event or anything related to it that people wanted me to hear, but if there is, I think I've got another video to do for Reverse before the end of the month yet on my normal schedule. So if you want me to get to another spooky song, definitely leave that in the comments below. But I think that's about all I've got to say on this one. So thank you all so very much for watching. And of course, if you do want to request something, by all means, drop it in the comments below and I will do my best as always. But if you don't want to do that, maybe just want to hang around, and if you like these videos, you want to follow me and support me, you know how to do all that. And I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!